We are back. I think the dog is finally gone, but we will see. I'm going to tell another story today, and this is about one of the scariest things I ever experienced at my current job. Well, there's a dog. Spoke too soon. But so, I guess for those who don't know or whatever, I'm a courier. I drive a van. I deliver stuff for people. But we'll do anything from paperwork for law firms to like signage, like large signage for like construction companies and like that kind of shit, right? So I'm constantly on the freeway, I'm constantly on the highway. I am legitimately in a van for about 8 hours a day. I put hundreds of miles on that van every day. And so I've seen some pretty crazy shit on the road. I've seen some pretty like unsafe and scary things on the road, but by far the scariest thing that ever happened to me was a legitimate Final Destination moment. And I'm sure people of a similar age group will know what I'm talking about when I say a Final Destination moment, because there's that scene, and I think the first Final Destination, where the guy is driving behind the logging truck and the piece of timber comes loose from the back of the truck and goes through the windshield and like nearly misses or whatever, and then because of that, like everyone has this phobia of driving behind those type of vehicles. I also share that phobia. That shit freaks me out. It has always freaked me out. But now I will not do it anymore because it was a couple years ago and I was on 95 driving back into Baltimore, and there was a construction truck a couple cars in front of me. I didn't really notice them. I'm not really paying attention to that vehicle specifically, but I'm in the middle lane and driving on the interstate, going fast as shit with everyone. Like the flow of traffic was just like quick at that time of day. And I guess this construction truck had, ladders and various tools in the bed of the truck and secured to like the more vertical space of the truck. They had like the poles where you would put all the ladders up and you're stacking stuff in the van or in the back of the truck. Well, I guess he didn't secure one of those fucking ladders, right? So the ladder pops off the back of this truck and everyone's going like at least 70 on the highway, right? And so then the ladder dislodges from the back of the truck, hits the ground, opens up, and then is just tumbling down the freeway, right? And this all happened in mere seconds. So I'm driving and I'm paying attention, thank God. And all of a sudden, this like the Red Sea just parts in front of me. I just see brake lights and cars jerking to the extremities of the road, right, to either side. And I just have this flash, right? And I look up and I see a fucking ladder bouncing in the road, but like on its feet. So it would like hit on the feet and then like tumble and then catch on the feet again and then tumble and catch on the feet again and then tumble. But it's like staying pretty much in the middle lane. And I'm driving like a 12 passenger van, right? Big van. And I didn't have a whole lot of fucking reaction time because I'm quickly approaching this fucking ladder that will probably fucking kill me. And so I had to make like the decision of like, okay, am I going to jerk to the left, potentially hit a car on that side and go into the guardrail, or am I going to jerk to the right, potentially hit a car on that side, and then maybe have to go into this ditch? And so I swerved to the right and I avoided the ladder. There were no cars behind me. There were no cars next to me, so I had a clear sort of like radius or whatever. I don't know. I had a clear little like avoidance zone to my right hand side, right? And so then everyone's honking their horns and stuff, and the ladder starts slowing down, and I can see in my rearview mirror that it had eventually like landed and skidded and was just kind of like in the road now, blocking traffic, right? And a bunch of people had like spun out. I think some cars had hit each other like behind me. No one hit me. No one really in front of me hit each other or anyone. But traffic is almost completely stopped now behind me. And in front of me, that truck is still driving, right? And so I pick up my normal pace and I'm driving, and then that truck is just going, right? And so there's like one or two other cars that I see like speeding up, trying to make pace with that truck that had just lost its ladder. And so I was kind of like, oh, you know, might as well like see what's up. Like, that sounds like a fun thing to do. So I speed up also. So now there's like 3 of us with no one really behind us, like speeding up to catch up with this work truck. And the other 2 guys get like right next to him on either side, and they're like honking their horns. They're honking their horns, or honking their horns, or honking their horns, and I'm kind of like behind the guy on the left, sort of like watching, seeing what's going on. And I just see the fucking driver of the truck, like, not really paying attention, and then he just puts his middle finger up to the fucking to the windows of both sides, just 2-hand double birds as he's fucking driving, and then the other cars just start honking and honking and honking, and then the car in front of me just, I guess, says fuck it and just speeds off or whatever. The guy on the other side of the car, I see him like slow down and then eventually pull off, and he has his phone in his hand, so it's like, okay, you're reporting the license plate, you're calling the cops, whatever. But then I'm working, I don't want to fucking get involved with this, so it's like, I'm not stopping. Like, I'm just going to keep on driving like normal. So I'm down next to this guy, and I'm looking at him, and he's just, you know, like just a normal like laborer dude. But he still just has his middle finger up to the side of the fucking window, just like at anyone who'd be looking in his window. And I never really understood what he thought was happening in that moment, to where a bunch of cars are just like ganging up on him honking, you know, because he's going fast as shit. And I'm sure like once he got to wherever he was going and realized he was down a ladder, I mean, I would hope that he'd be like, oh shit, and not just like, oh, comes with the territory. But we'll never know. But yeah, that was easily the scariest thing I've ever seen on the highway. Aside from like, I've seen some really gnarly wrecks. I've seen some really gnarly shit in that regard. Like the people who just like dramatically speed in front of you and are weaving through traffic, and then 2 minutes up the road, you just see that car accordioned like on a guardrail. That shit sucks, but it's not really scary. But yeah, the ladder rolling down the street, rolling down the highway, was easily the scariest thing I've ever seen while driving a truck. Driving a van, whatever. And yeah, that's the episode. And thank you guys for listening, even though there's this fucking dog still barking. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. It means the world to Andrew and I. Give us a good rating, tell your friends, all that stuff. It really helps us when people share the show with their friends. Yeah, take care of yourself and the people around you, and don't forget to tell your friends you love them.